Okay, well, in our last episode, I was discussing how I went to Kroger and I was wearing a Red Jaguars Legends of the Hidden Temple t shirt. And I thought that a girl in her 20s was hitting on me in the medicine section by telling me how much she liked the shirt because she obviously had no idea what Legends of the Hidden Temple was. Well, had to go to Kroger again today. So I made sure to take off my Legends of the Hidden Temple shirt in case that girl was there again for some reason. And I decided to put on my Night of the Demons shirt. In case you don't know, Night of the Demons is the best horror movie ever. With Linnea Quigley. Not just the best horror movie ever with Linnea Quigley, the best horror movie ever, and it has Linnea Quigley in it. That's what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I just had to get a couple of things: Coke Zero, pretzels, a few things, pasta, rice and beans. But anyway, I'm at the self-checkout line, and all of a sudden, someone comes up behind me. And it's some metalhead dude in his 20s. Like a dude, long hair, like a bright young man, promising young man. And he says to me, I like your t-shirt. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, this is either I'm being gang stalked or the universe is trying to tell me something. He says, I've never seen that movie. Is it good? And I said, oh, it's an all-time classic. It's one of the best movies ever. There's two other ones in a remake, but this one, they're not that good, but this one is top notch. All-time classic. He said, I'm going to watch it tonight. And since I don't believe in gang stalking, I dated someone that thought they were being gang stalked, and she just turned out to be extremely schizophrenic. I decided what my friend Deja Doog told me he thought gang stalking was spiritual. Gang stalking is when people think that they're being followed and harassed by organized groups of the government and stuff, but I don't think that's what happened. I'm not so self-centered that I think the CIA is watching my YouTube channel and they planted some guy to tell me he liked my t-shirt after I told a story about what happened yesterday. What I took out of it, the universe is trying to tell me is, I see this promising young man, nice kid, seems like he has a bright future ahead of him. And I couldn't imagine anything worse for this young man's livelihood and his future than if he were to be in the mouthwash section of Kroger earlier, runs across a fat, vegan, evil cat lady in the Legends of the Hidden Temple shirt, and somehow they end up going on a date and become intertwined in each other's lives. What I'm trying to say is, like, if he met a female version of me, like, so, like, what if I had picked up that girl that was hitting on me in the medicine section? And it's not so much my age. because I imagine if this young man, picked up Avril Lavigne, who's my age, he'd hit the jackpot. But Avril Lavigne is a nice Canadian girl that grew up in the church, a successful career, and be a positive impact in anyone's life who is lucky enough to come across her path. Me, on the other hand, I'm a Southern Gothic psychic vampire with a kaleidoscope of darkness inside of me. Probably literal demons that follow me around. I dated this girl for 2 years. Right before we moved in our first house together, we were staying at my sister's house. She had some kind of lucid dream where she thought she woke up and there's a reptilian entity pressed against her chest, speaking psychically to her, basically saying, this is your problem now. This is all your problem now. Now you have to deal with this. This is your problem now. And that demon that spoke to her, that was my demon. And what it was talking about me. I know this might sound crazy right now. That's just who I am. Grew up with mojo bags and voodoo and cemeteries and taxidermied animals and talks of family curses and like an Edgar Allan Poe type. I come from stock of the Gulf Coast of the Mississippi-Louisiana border. It's come from a dark place. And then we moved to Florida, which has made me into something even worse. A Florida man. A psychopath. So, I learned my lesson. And my past 3 videos that I've made, I'm calling it the Creepy Trilogy. Because for some reason, after watching and listening to the Talk Scary to Me podcast, all of a sudden I think I'm like Howard Stern, and I'm making all my videos about sexual exploits and dating and love and stuff like that. That's not what this channel is all about. That was just a brief phase in this channel. I've been taking ashwagandha root to lower my cortisol, and from what I understand, it does heighten testosterone levels. So I think I had a little bit too much testosterone in my system. I'm gonna try to adjust to it. But first thing I need to do to adjust is try to suppress these feelings of trying to talk blue, as they call it. That's the old-timey phrase for it. When you talk dirty on a form of entertainment, it's called doing blue, a blue routine. And stop being blue. It's gross. It's okay when Scout Taylor Compton and Danielle Harris talk about sex and stuff, because they're hot horror chicks, celebrities. But they had Kane Hodder on the show, and they got him to talk about his foot fetish. And that's just something I don't want to hear about. I want to hear about Jason's foot fetish. And, I'm a mama's boy, just like Jason Voorhees, and I'm sure other people don't want to hear about my gross sexual thoughts as well. Yeah, I'm going through a medication change up, and it's never easy when you adjust your medications. Thanks, Indiana state law. Yeah, I decided I wanted to take, instead of 3 times a day, I'm going to take my Ativan, 1.5 of them twice a day, because I was taking it right before I sleep. And I was thinking, I don't really need anti-anxiety medicine for the exact moment I fall asleep. I'm not going to have a panic attack in my sleep. Little did I know, my cat Shredder decided that we live in Guantanamo Bay now. And literally 1 hour until, or 1 hour after I fell asleep yesterday, he's just running around the house going, "Row, row, row," just being an absolute terror. Waking me up, standing on me, getting up in my face. He woke me up 5 times in the period of like 5 hours. He woke me up once an hour, my first couple hours of sleeping, or my first few hours of sleeping. I finally was like, oh, he must be hungry or something. I'll give him a can of food. So that did help. He ate a can of food. And he left me alone for a second. But then when he was done eating, he came and he cuddled my hand and my arm. And I figured out what the whole thing was about. For the past over 15 years now, he's been humping me like a dog humps a leg, but he humps my arm. And he's obsessed with it. It's like the first thing he does when he wakes up. And sometimes when when I'm sleeping, he decides he wants to hump, and my sleeping's not important to him anymore. So he starts running around the house screaming. And keep in mind, he's almost 19 years old. You would think he'd like need Viagra or something, but he doesn't. He's a freak. He's a freak of nature. He's a New York bodega cat. Found him in my backyard when I was 23 years old on my father's birthday. I've had him ever since. I've had him the longest of any of my pets of my adult life. I've seen 2 dogs die, 2 cats die. My other cat has cancer right now, but she has real bad arthritis. But he walks around like he's still 3 years old, jumping all over the place, eating like a pig, dominating everything that he comes across. He's a little devil. But I love him. And yeah, suffice to say, my little experiment with my Ativan did not go as well as I thought it would. I had very vivid dreams. I remember I had a dream that Veronica Vaughn was the original Buffy the Vampire Slayer's mom. And I was hanging out with them, telling them how they're the hottest chicks of all time. I had that dream, and then I had a dream that I brought my cats to a friend's house who had 2 cats, and one of his cats had feline AIDS, and he didn't tell me about it. Very vivid dreams. But that's fine, you know. It was the lack of sleep that really fucked with me, and I'm really hoping that I can get adjusted to this different out-of-van schedule. I'm taking 3 supplements that supposedly work for anxiety. As I mentioned earlier, the L-theanine, it's like the letter L. Or wait, I was talking about ashwagandha root. It's taking ashwagandha root, which is in a gummy form, vegetarian gummy, of course. Taking magnesium glycinate, which I take. That kind of helps me kind of get tired. The ashwagandha root kind of keeps me on an even keel. And lastly, L-theanine, which I decided today I'm going to take twice a day. I was taking it once a day. You can take it twice a day. You can't really OD on it. Because I was desperate today. I was feeling so frazzled after being woken up by my cat, ruining my sleep. I was like, well, maybe I'll just take another L-theanine and see if that helps. And it really does help. It really made me feel a lot better. Letter L, T, H-A-N-I-N-E. It can come from mushrooms. It can come from green tea. But if you've ever heard Joe Rogan cringe talk about neurogum, he chews it all day, all day during his podcast. Constantly chewing neurogum. All what neurogum is L-theanine and caffeine, and I guess L-theanine like cancels out the jitters of caffeine. So a lot of people take L-theanine with their coffee in the morning to still be alert, but not the jitters at the same time. But for me, I mean, I'm feeling like it's really helping me with my jitters altogether. I'm desperate. I should be on 2 milligrams of Ativan. My dad was a 2 milligram man, and he weighed less than I do. We're the same height. Both me and my mom and dad are all 5'9". My dad thought if he married my mom, since she's tall for a woman, that I would be tall. But I just ended up being the same height as both of them. Yeah, so I'm taking 1.5 Ativan twice a day now instead of 1 milligram Ativan 3 times a day. My dad took, I believe he took his 2 milligram Ativan twice a day, and my mom takes her 0.5 milligram Xanax twice a day. So it's in my genes to be able to take these benzodiazepines twice a day and still function. So hopefully it's going to work out. Because I'm a fucking nervous wreck. So you wouldn't think I'd have so much to be stressed about, but I find things to be stressed about. I make them up in my own head. I thought my cat stopped eating, but it just turned out I was feeding her too many treats. Like I said, most of my anxiety right now is animal related. Because as I said before, I'm a fat, evil, vegan cat lady. Another news besides talking about myself. My sister got a job today. And you didn't know this. She's a lawyer. She went to law school. But she hated being a lawyer. She tried 2 different firms. So she decided that she's going to work with her husband, who's the manager of Big Red Liquors. And she delivers spirits to people's houses. And I'm happy for her because she loves to drive her car around and listen to music real loud. She's kind of in her element doing that. She's already used to delivering me cat medicine all the time because she's my special cat medicine delivery person. Otherwise, I'd have to take the bus to get cat medicine, and that takes like over an hour. And I'm getting cat medicine all month long, all different medicines all the time. So it's a lot to keep up with. And I mostly am nocturnal, so the bus and the vet close. The vet closes like right after I wake up, and the bus stops going around the time I'm just waking up, starting my day. So it's really nice that she does that for me, and she got a little practice for a new job. But it just got me thinking about life, and being a lawyer, it's like comes with prestige. It's a high. It's like it's a job everyone wants to have. It's a sign of success. It's like, oh, this person's a lawyer. So it ends up being like a cutthroat, ruthless, elitist, demanding bullshit job, and I wouldn't want to be one. And I was thinking of the same thing about what I went to school for, which was acting, and I played music. There's almost parallels there. I hate the entertainment business for the exact same reasons I would probably hate being a lawyer. I just don't like elitist people. I don't like people thinking that just because you have a job somewhere that you're special, or you have to hold yourself to a certain standard. You have to be competitive. You have to fuck people over. It seems like doctors are the same way. Just basically jobs meant for psychopaths. Me and my sister might be both sociopaths or personality disorders, maybe, but those are made, not born. Psychopaths are born. We're just not psychopaths. We don't flourish in that kind of environment. And I'm just really happy for her, because I mean she has a very her rent. She doesn't pay a lot of rent. She doesn't have to pay a lot of rent. She really likes her apartment. She gets to work with her husband, so she has a job. She's making money, but she doesn't need to like ruin her life with her job. When she was working at the last law firm, she was working all the way in Indianapolis. She had to go to bed at like 7 p.m., wake up at like 5 a.m., and she got treated like shit all day. That's the last thing she said to all the people at her work. When she left, she said, you don't have to be treated like this. Apparently all the paralegals were treated like shit. And just people find in the workforce an excuse to treat other people like shit. That's no good. So that's some good news, I guess, in life. You haven't noticed yet, the theme of today's playthroughs are Japanese only Sega Megadrive and Mega CD games. I mean, I have an endless supply of gaming choices, but it's the paradox of choice. So I have to come up with these little themes. And today I thought, oh well, I'll look up some Japanese only exclusives. This one I'm surprised. Oops. Classic rookie mistake, pressing the A button. I'm surprised this never came out in the United States because Golden Axe 1 and 2 were such a popular franchise. Yeah, this is Golden Axe 3, only in Japan. Only in Japan. Check out that channel. The original version of it, not the new version of it. Only in Japan. It's great stuff. I decided to play this game because I watched Conan the Barbarian for the first time. When you kill people in Golden Axe 1, it makes a sound. It goes, ah! And I found where that sound came from. It's from Conan the Barbarian. He sets up like this little trap and it impales a guy. And that's where the sound came from. They stole it right from it. That's what you just gotta love about these 80s and 90s video games, especially Sega Genesis games. They are not afraid to steal copyrighted material and plagiarize it. It's hilarious. Running across these little tidbits. But if you've never seen Conan the Barbarian, that's a damn fine film, I must say. I think it's pre-Terminator Schwarzenegger. He's a young buck in that movie. He does a great performance in it. It has great gore. It's very gory. Great special effects for the time. You can tell it's not a really high budget movie, but it has James Earl Jones, puts on an awesome performance. Lots of nudity. Just pretty much lots of action. Just pretty much everything you're looking for in a sword and sandals movie. Maybe it's like, I think it probably is the sword and sandals movie. It's probably why there are so many other sword and sandals movies from the 80s, because they're just inspired by Conan the Barbarian. Kind of like how there was like a million Harry Potter type movies and a million like Twilight type movies, just a little twist on them, but they're all basically Twilight and Harry Potter. You got Deathstalker, you got Beastmaster, you got Krull. I don't know. I went through a whole period of of watching Sword and Sandals movies. But I don't know why I never watched Conan the Barbarian, because that's the one right there. I think I watched it on Amazon. There's part 2, Conan the Conqueror, and it's rated PG. So I don't think I'm going to be watching that one. What a waste. The thing that made Conan the Barbarian so good was its barbarism. It was just it's a hard R. And that's what I love. I love violence. I love gratuitous nudity. I love blood. I love gore. I love demons and creatures of the night. I was watching Svengoolie tonight, and they're playing some Frankenstein movie. Last week was a Dracula movie made by Hammer, The Horror of Dracula. I don't know if this one was called The Horror of Frankenstein, but it was something Frankenstein. The first color Hammer movie. And it had an image of like a shot of the Frankenstein monster. He had just been like shot by a shotgun or something, and he was like down for the count, but Dr. Frankenstein had retrieved him and hung him from a chain from the ceiling. And just the visual image of that, I was like, why do I feel so comforted, like, and cozy from this image of the Frankenstein monster all bloody and ravaged, hanging from a ceiling by a chain? Why does this make me feel like the way people feel when they look at puppies and kittens? What's wrong with me? That we'll never know. But I guess that's what I was trying to say earlier about this running away from girls that hit on me. I don't want to bring anyone into my own personal hell and share hell with them. There's only enough room in my personal hell for myself. I don't need to spread my disease. I'm sure there's other people like me out there. Or there's at least like people that wish they were like me. Like I watched this vlog, spooky something. I'll leave a link in the description below. I can't think of the name right now, but it's this goth chick. I think she lives in LA. She loves taxidermy. She loves dark things and fantasy, and dresses real goth and stuff. But I question, does she really have this darkness inside of her, or is she just basically a goth version of a Barbie girl? Because being goth and into horror and stuff like that, and Halloween and everything like that, is very fashionable right now. But for me, in my mind, it's like every day is Halloween. I've done everything I can to save my soul. through our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I've repented my sins. I've been baptized. But I think part of being a Christian is admitting that I'm evil. I think that's part of it. Just to get it out of the way, you know. Kind of like first step of Alcoholics Anonymous is surrendering to a higher power. I have to accept darkness inside of me, and I'm not proud of it. It's just something I'm haunted by. But thank God for psychiatric medication. I'm enjoying this game selection tonight. There's Svengoolie and there's House of Svengoolie. Svengoolie plays like classic horror. And House of Svengoolie are the people that you can tell are there to replace Svengoolie when he finally gets too old, because Svengoolie is really old. And right now, I could be watching House of Svengoolie. Comes on after Svengoolie once a month, and this month they're playing Leprechaun. But I really didn't feel like watching Leprechaun. They just play a lot of things that millennials probably watched, and Svengoolie plays classic horror. Probably because the Spin Squad, as they call it, who hosts House of Svengoolie, they write the show themselves like Svengoolie writes the show themselves. And that's just, they're playing what they know. They played Labyrinth, Earth Girls Are Easy, The Dark Crystal, Killer Clowns from Outer Space. All the kind of shit that came on in the 90s on HBO that I lamented having to sit through. But the House of Svengoolie is hosted by Nostalgia Varatu, who's a Nosferatu character, played by Bill from Tune In With Me, the cartoon show. It has a guy named the Imp, who everybody just loves to hate. Ignatius Maldalvo Frankenstein. He's a real nerdy little character. I actually went on the third person that hosts the House of Svengoolie, Gwen Goolie. I went on her personal YouTube channel, Pinup Palmer, and I wrote "The Imp is a Wimp" on her comment section, and she gave it a little heart emoji and said, "All right then," because she knows that it's true. The Imp is a wimp. A little theater nerd. They held a contest. It's called the Spawn of Svengoolie. And so people tried out to be the successor to Svengoolie. And the Imp won and Gwengoolie won. But Nostalgia Varatu was kind of grandfathered into it, which I think is unfair. He was already working for MeTV on Tune In With Me. He made this original character, Nostalgia Varatu, for his Tune In With Me channel, but I guess the MeTV execs knew he was a company man and they could count on him. So they brought him into the Svengoolie fold. And I kind of find it sacrilege. They start off the houses Finguli with Nostalgia Barato. Um, Teleporting in front of the Svengoolie iconic coffin, which to me is like saying, okay, here's your new successor to Svengoolie. But to me, I think the true successor to Svengoolie is not Nostalgia Varatu, it's not the Imp. The real standout star is Gwengoolie. Took a mythical trip to Hollywood when I turned 30. And I swear I saw a lot of things there. First, I think I saw William Shatner on Venice Beach. I think I saw Taylor Swift at the Griffith Park Observatory. I believe I saw Ryan Seacrest um, in a car outside of Madame Tussauds Wax Museum. But I don't expect anyone to believe any of that, and I definitely don't expect anyone to believe this. I'm pretty sure that I saw a young Gwen Gooley at Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights, and she insulted me. It's been confirmed. She's been working at Universal Studios for like 15 years, and she does work Halloween Horror Nights. And she's not doing Halloween Horror Nights. I think she plays the Bride of Frankenstein and stuff. But there was a theme of the movie The Purge. There was a bunch of Purge people, and she was like had a megaphone, and she was just kind of roasting everyone that walked by, kind of like the clown did at the state fair, like in the dunk tank. Just no holds barred insult comedy on everyone. And I was just, a typical tourist. Um, Taking pictures with my phone of everything around me. And she looked right at me and she goes, Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall and started taking pictures of everything. And to me, what she was saying is that I'm like short and stocky like an egg. I mean, our memories are not cannot be trusted. They're an interpretation. But one of our strongest senses in our memories is the sense of smell and the sense of sound. And I'm telling you, Gwen Gooley, Pinup Palmer, Sarah Palmer, she has a very distinctive voice. And when I heard that Humpty Dumpty, she said, Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall and started taking pictures of everything. Just the cadence of her voice, the sound of her voice, the tone of her voice. I'm telling you, it was her. But I mean that whole trip, that was the end of my 20s. I was in trouble with the law at the time. I knew it was going to be an epic, life-changing trip that I'd never forget. And maybe I'm like that guy in that movie Big Fish or something. tall tales or whatever. But to me, it's real. It's my reality. Um, no one can tell me anything otherwise because I'm Richard Halstead and I self mythologize. Take care of yourself and each other. Bye bye.